Give the call to the member for Hume.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Assistant Treasurer. I refer the Minister to reports today in the Financial Review that former ACCC Chair Rod Sims said multi-employer bargaining raises issues for competition and consumers. Can the Minister guarantee that consumers won't pay higher prices as a result of the government's extreme industrial relation changes?
Give the call to the Assistant Treasurer.
And I thank the member for Hume for his question. What I can guarantee, and what every member of the Albanese Labor government can guarantee, is that we stand for higher wages. That we stand for workers having a fair go and being able to negotiate on an equal basis with employers and to be able to get wages moving again. This is in stark contrast to the policies of those on the other side of the House, because for 9 years—
the member for Hume has asked this question.
Because for 9 long years on their watch, we saw wages stagnate. And for households which are struggling with cost of living increases, there are 2 ways to deal with this, and one of them is to ensure that we can get wages moving again. And we've heard time and time and time again from employers in the childcare sector, in the aged care sector and in other caring sectors across the economy that they cannot attract workers. And one of the reasons they cannot attract workers is because the wages aren't able to compete with other comparable jobs across the economy. So what we on this side of the House can confirm, is that our policies—
will pause. The Minister is being relevant to the question and specifically is talking about employment bargaining. So I will hear from the Shadow Treasurer on a point of order.
On relevance, Mr Speaker. Consumers just want to know if they're going to pay more.
Consumers are workers too, by the way.
I call the Leader of the House. Order.
Mr Speaker, I just refer to your earlier rulings about abuse of points of order. When you have a situation where a minister is clearly already being relevant and abuses like that continue, I'd simply ask it to be taken into account in future.
Order. I'll hear from the Manager of Opposition Business.
Well, on the point of order, Mr Speaker, the question was about consumer prices, asked of a minister who has responsibility for consumer protection, and we've had not one mention of consumers and prices consumers will pay.
Resume your seat. Resume your seat for a moment. There were 2 parts to the question, and one was clearly about multi-employee bargaining and industrial relations. Just because you don't like the answer does not mean you can jump up and take a point of order on relevance. If the Minister was not being relevant, I would bring him back to the question. Just want to make it clear, I will hear points of order always, but they need to make sure that they are the correct points of order. Just going to ask the Assistant Minister to return to the question. I'll give him the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And I'll tell you one lot of price increases. That they don't want us to talk about. That's the 40% increase in childcare costs that occurred on their watch. There's one set of price increases that they don't want to talk about. We have already implemented policies which are going to address the 40% increase in childcare costs that they were very happy to see occur on their watch. One of the first priorities that we addressed when coming into government was to ensure that households could make a choice of whether they wanted to go back to work 3 days, 4 days or 5 days a week, because we are addressing the price increases in childcare by ensuring that the majority of Australian households can afford to pay for childcare. Now, I can understand that the Leader of the House got a bit jumpy when I was talking about negotiations, and we are concerned to ensure that low-paid workers are able to access a bargaining stream which enables them to negotiate fairly. enables them to negotiate fairly. You can understand why the Leader of the Opposition is very jumpy whenever we talk about negotiations, because the last negotiation he was involved in didn't go so well. He was able to provide $27 million worth of taxpayer money for a block of land only worth $3 million in Leppington. So whenever we talk about negotiations, he gets very jumpy over there, because the last negotiation he was involved in—
He will resume his seat.